Hello friends, welcome back to CCSP Certified channel. Today we are covering the lecture 6 on the cloud concepts, and that is a data dispersion in cloud, and that is the last topic, last lecture of this topic. This is third topic going on. We already have covered couple of topics before. Topic 1 was cryptography or the encryption, and topic 2 was IAM, Identity Access Management. And you can expect around 25 to 30 questions from topic 1, topic 2. Topic 3 also that I have covered 6 lectures, and you can expect around 15 questions from this. So I have covered almost 50 questions of yours, 45 to 50 questions from this topic 3 till this topic 3. Topic 4 onward will read more about the risk in the cloud, and this also very important. We'll understand the different virtualization risk, multi-tenancy risk. We'll see NISA 8, Nautilus 9, TTRS 12. Those are the different risks defined in the cloud. We'll understand them from topic 4 onward. Today we cover the topic of the day, that is data dispersion in the cloud. And before we start, I would like to cover the peace of mind activity. You might have seen this in my other slide also. This is very important to cover. I quickly cover them. It is a promotional activities by IC Square who conduct this exam. Not only they conduct CCSP, but they conduct CISSP, SSCP, CS, LR, and others exams. And the better way to write the exam is via this to avail this peace of mind promotional activity. And though dates might change till the time you watch these videos, but there might be similar offer at that time. Current offer is that if you purchase a voucher by 30th of April, and you can write first exam by 15th May. In case you don't qualify, you can rewrite the exam by July 15 without any cost. So if you go with the relaxed mind, maximum chances that you qualify in the first attempt only. I did the same, and many of my students also qualified in first attempt. You can see their feedback on my LinkedIn profile. I will share the link in the video descriptions. In case still you miss, if you don't qualify, still get a fair idea of exam, your weaknesses, and you can try better in the next attempt. So always when you plan to write the exam, always plan according to this. Same way I also conduct my batches according to this only. So my current batch is going on, that will be over before this May 15. So student can write this exam. Same way I'm starting the new batch, that will be 16 May onward, and that will be approx 25 classes. I will cover all this syllabus of the CCSP exam, and that will be 4 days a week. I teach in morning hours from 8 a.m. to 9:15 a.m. IST. And not only I cover this in classes, I give my materials, teaching materials, question banks, and test papers to you guys. And as it is for working professional, I try to share the recording of the classrooms if you miss any of the classes. And definitely I appreciate, though it's exam in English, I appreciate you can ask questions and your doubt in any language, Hindi or English, based on your preference. And in case you are watching this recording beyond these dates, you can write me at the ccsp-certified gmail.com to know the latest batches. You can enroll and get the offer and get ready for the next offer comes. No, next offer will come most probably in early week of first or second week of the June. You will have a preparation ready till that time. Apart from this, I'm selling one more service. There's online recordings of the classroom videos, and those for those candidates who cannot join the classes because of the work-life balance, because of the timing of the batches, they can purchase the recordings, my content, PPTs, and my guidance with very nominal rates. Few of my candidates has qualified recently via the watching recording only. You can see their feedback on my LinkedIn profile, and you can see I will share one simple recording of my class to understand, to know how these recordings are and how I'm teaching. So you can purchase this at nominal rate in case you are writing exam and you cannot join the classes. Now we come to the topic of the day, that is the data dispersion. So we have you hope you may have seen my last video that was on business continuity and disaster recovery, and we have seen that primary objective of the business continuity planning to keep the business running even in case of the disruptions. So whatever the disaster happened, we want that our business to remain up and running, and we don't need to go to disaster recovery phase. For this, we keep additional infrastructure, add additional redundancies in our infrastructures, so our system does not get impacted. So data dispersion can help on the data loss happening due to disasters. So data dispersion is one of the core principle of the business continuity. It says data should always be stored in more than one location and devices, and it is concept similar to RAID. We'll read in detail in next slide, but quickly, if we have seen that, you might be aware that in that RAID we store a parity bit data where data is split between multiple disks, and even failure of one or two disks will not impact because there is a parity bits maintained in the multiple disks to restore the data that can be restored with the combination of existing or remaining disk which is up and running. So we have seen one question also in the last video lecture where we asked to ensure the business continuity, what is the action is required, and we have seen that answer was to implement RAID, and it was the solution for the on-premise setup. But for cloud, we do have a data dispersals, and that is also known as a bit splitting. So sometimes they in question they might give the concept as a bit splitting rather than data dispersion. So it is the same keyword or same concept, and that is a technique are used to provide high availability assurance and performance when writing data into cloud-based storage systems. We have seen that cloud has object storage, volume storage, and when we write the data there, the CSP promise that our data is secure, and they have enough controls to handle the disasters. So they use the data dispersion technique to ensure that data is available, and even the disaster happen or disruption happen, your data does not get impacted. And the underlying architecture of this technique involve the use of erasure coding. There's very important keyword that we'll see what is erasure coding. It is a similar concept related to the RAID as a parity bit. The erasure coding equivalent to the parity bit, and it chunks the data into objects. So chunking is similar to stripping in RAID. In RAID we call as a stripping the data in the objects and data object into segments, and each segment is encrypted, cut in slice, and dispersed across an organization network to reside on different hard drives and servers. So the data is first move into segments. It can they can encrypted, sliced, and dispersed across multiple locations, multiple hard disks. So what is erasure encoding? Erasure coding, as I mentioned in the previous slide also, it is concept similar to parity bit, and it is a technique used in mathematical functions to transfer a data set into form that include redundancy in the way that allow the original data to be recreated from a subset of the redundant pieces. So when the data is stored in the multiple location, even the failure of the few nodes will not impact our the data retrieval process. We can recreate the data from the remaining nodes based on the redundancy we have added. So let's say we have a m plus n format in the data, where 10 is the data bits and 4 is the n is the parity bits or the erasure encoding bits. So there are 14 drives where the data is stored. So out of these 14s, if any of the 10 can recover, we can still recover the data. So we can accept the uh, uh, we can expect the 4 failures of the drive, and even the till the 4 drives get failed, our data is not lost. So this way this erasure coding works, and the we have seen that object storages are the global storages that is accessible over different locations or different geographical customers, and when we store the data, it is replicated across multiple object storage nodes. The similar concept happens there as a data dispersions or erasure coding is being used. So the quick overview that we have seen, the parity bit, that's concept of the rate similar to erasure encoding that we have seen just now, part of our data dispersion technique or bit splitting technique. We have seen that if there is a 5 by 6 rate mentioned there, then there will be one disk which has a parity bit store, and res 5 is the actual disk. Same way, if it is a eraser encoding, we have m into n or m into k, where k are the additional slices or the eraser coding which can be used to retrieve the data. So same like when the rate 5 we have used, k was 1, and when we go increase rate 6, k will be 2. So out of let's say 4 are the disk, 2 are the parity bit uh, disk, which can be used to retrieve the data in case of the failure. So there are few questions we'll cover from this concept, and definitely it is very important concept not only for exam perspective, for your industry life also. You understand how in the cloud data gets synced and replicated across multiple locations, multiple storage devices. So there are few questions, you can expect at least one question from the exam from this topic. We'll cover them now. So data dispersion is a cloud data security technique that is similar to which legacy implementation. We have seen that data dispersion is close to the RAID in the legacy implementation, but sometimes they become smart and they does not give the RAID. Sometimes they may give the full form of this concept or the abbreviation. So it is a redundant array of inexpensive disk. So if you don't give the RAID, select this option. That is a smart way of asking the question, though I have given both in this question. The second question is bit splitting also provides security against data breaches by. We have seen that bit splitting provides the security. So which breaches it can secure the data. First is removing all access to the unauthorized parties. Second is ensuring that unauthorized users only get a useless fragment of data. Third is moving data across jurisdictional boundaries. And fourth is tracking all incoming requests. So we have seen this in many of our previous lectures also. When data moves to multiple jurisdictions, multiple locations, it tracks the laws and the jurisdiction of those areas or those boundaries locations. So definitely data dispersion or bit splitting also will have a issue, because if your data is replicated between India and China or China and Russia and there are restrictions there are some local laws are there, those are applicable to you. So definitely the bit splitting cannot provide a security against this. Then we'll remove the other distractor which looks very obvious or very extreme options from this out of the four options. So can it provide the it can remove the access, removing all access to unauthorized parties. So when there is a question like all, any, none, always look for this, and they are the options which is least likely to be correct. So bit splitting cannot provide security against the unauthorized parties access and cannot remove all these access. It is just to make a data replicated from multiple location. Now tracking all incoming access requests. This is also not the part of the bit splitting job. Bit splitting is to ensure the data is get synced. What is incoming request? It does not matter to them. Now we read the option B, ensuring that unauthorized users only get a useless segment of the data. This is correct because we have seen that a attacker getting access to the one segment would not able to gaining anything of the value, because one segment of the data set would most likely make no sense out of the context. And we have seen there is multiple segment distributed against on multiple devices, multiple locations, until unless I retrieve minimum number. Let's say there are 16 disks, and if I able to retrieve 5 or 10 there, it will not solve the problem until unless I able to retrieve all 10 from that. So option B will be the correct answer. If bit splitting is used to store data set across multiple jurisdiction, how may this enhance securities? So if it is in multiple jurisdiction, we'll see that it will involve the local jurisdiction problem, but it may enhance the security also. How it may enhance securities? The first option is by making the seizure of data by law enforcement more difficult. Definitely this is the right option coming first place only, so we'll discuss this. So we have seen that law enforcement agency can enforce your or can seize your data, and if the data seizing has happened, you will not able to run your business, you will not able to access your data. Sometimes there is a CBI rate, ED rate, and that collect or your hard disk your data, and you will not able to access. Same way, if it is cloud based in India, they can restrict access of your data. But again, if we mentioned data dispersion, data is replicated against multiple locations, and let's say 4 disks are in India, 10 disks are outside, and out of 14, any of the 10 you can retrieve your data back. So you can get rid of the law enforcement agencies, and at least you can get your data if it is available in the other jurisdictions, other locations. One more simple question it is, not from the CCSP guide. Database person provide protection for all of the following security aspects except. So I have mentioned before also, if there is a negative question, they will underline this. So which cannot be protected in the database persons. So confidentiality against the external attack on the storage area, definitely it can be, because we have seen that it is encrypted data bits. Loss of the availability to the single storage failures, we have seen that even a single storage failures will not impact our data if we have a minimum available disk available to us. Loss due to seizure of law enforcement in the multi-tenant environment, we have seen that even the law enforcement agency sees the hard disk, and even it is not something you have done the crime, they have seized the hard disk of the other to block the other customer data, and because of the multi-tenancy you are also impacted. Still you can retrieve the data if it is available in the other jurisdiction locations. Protecting against loss due to the user error. So if you intentionally and unintentionally delete the data and you are the authorized user, it will not protect you against this, because it expects that the authorized user can create and delete the data, and data dispersion will allow if you delete the data. So if you are doing deleting data due to some error or some typo mistakes you are doing, it will not able to protect you. The last question on this one, which of the following is a possible negative aspect of the bit splitting? What is a negative aspect? We have seen the positive aspect of the data dispersions. One negative aspect, we have seen that it attracts a multiple jurisdiction laws. And what are the others we will discuss is less security. Definitely it is more security, it cannot be the answer, because we have seen that increase the security by encryption. Will answer that greatest risk of unauthorized access. We have seen even a single piece of the data retrieved by some attackers, hackers, it will not able to get access of the old data, so it will definitely reduce the risk. Significant greater processing overhead, this looks good, we'll keep it. Violating regulatory compliance, it will not violate any regulatory compliance, though you have to follow the compliance of that location, but there is nothing violation happens if you replicate the data. The C looks relevant, and why it is so, because we have seen that it is splitting the data, encrypting data, and then moving in the segment to different locations. Same time when it reaches to it, that location, same overhead or the processing decryptions need to be done, and it increases the definitely overhead. So without bit splitting it is more easy, then it takes less processing power, but definitely it increases the security, but it need a overhead also. So that's for today. Hope you have liked this, like my channel. Next topic, as I mentioned in starting, I will explain the risk in the cloud, and you can expect around 5 to 6 questions from different type of risk in the cloud, and this is very important. So subscribe the channel so you don't miss any of these videos. Thank you. Bye.